Good morning. This is Sharisi, and you're watching part 2 of my Sims 4 content or mod roadmap video. In the first part, we went over a bunch of different things from animations to poses to blender scenes to how to find my animated deco sims and build and buy. So if you have not yet watched that, feel free to check that out. Here in part 2, we are taking things over to the iPad to go ahead and continue mapping out our timeline for future mods and stuff to make, as well as focusing on some of the comments that you guys have left for suggestions for animated deco sims as well, and trying to brainstorm some things to pick out what the next mini set, I guess you can call it, is going to be. So yeah, enjoy the video. Bye bye. Okay, so now you can see we're in a bit of a different environment and we're on my iPad right now, and I've had to change some of my setup to adjust to this. So hopefully we're good. But we are here to go over plans and just talk about the animated deco sims specifically for this moment. I thought a good space to just go over everything would be on my iPad, so I could kind of write out all that I'm thinking. And also I just think a good way, I've been very like, it was an interest passed on to me from my mother, but I've been very into, like, I don't know, something about the way people write, and like I feel like you could learn a lot about a person by the way they take notes and write. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but I feel like this is very intimate. I feel like this is intimate, and I feel like I'm crazy for thinking that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm sharing a lot about myself by doing it in this format. In my head it makes sense. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna jump over here to a timeline. So I briefly mentioned this before. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, so as far as what's coming out next, first I'm going to do the Llama Scouts. Also, please, I don't want to hear anything unless it's a compliment about my handwriting or my penmanship. Okay, that's a soft spot for me. Okay, very delicate. So the Llama Scouts pose pack. After that is probably going to be the family tree pose pack, like we talked about before. Shoot, I forgot pose. And then after that, I think I'm gonna do an 8 sim deco pack. It's a pack of anime deco sims, but I think it's gonna be 8 sims, or it's gonna be more like 16, because I think I'm gonna do the thing that I did with the clubbing pack, where I put the sim in 2 different outfits. So it's the same sim in 2 different outfits, because I actually really liked my workflow while doing that. Yeah, it helps a lot being able to reuse them like that, and I don't think it's bad. It's not something I hate. Okay, here's my thing. I feel like there's supposed to be something in between this, because I think I want to do 2 8 sim deco packs. So these wouldn't be like big projects like with my clubbing NPCs or the grocery store ones. It will literally just be deco sims, and I'm gonna break down what I mean by that. So when it comes to, at least the way I've kind of broken this down when I'm making stuff, is that when it comes to the deco sims or the animated deco sims, there are basically 2 types, right? Okay, so the way I've broken this down is there are basically 2 types of animated deco sims. First, you have your deco sims, and then you also have your NPCs. I kind of use them interchangeably for like namesake, but in this video we're really gonna break it down. So the deco sims are purely there for aesthetic decor. There's no gameplay, no function, right? And the NPCs, however, yeah, they're there for decor, they're there for aesthetic. They also have gameplay, right? They have buffs, they have interactions, right? There's some type of function that goes along with them. Think like Winter Wondering, or I don't know, the dancers in the clubbing pack. And for the NPCs, think the grocery store. That's a really good example of one. With the grocery store ones, you could buy your groceries. With the dancers, you could throw money, right? And they get a buff. There's some type of gameplay function. Now, for these ones would be, what I call them? These ones would be Deco Sims. It's no type of gameplay, no function. It's purely aesthetic. So what we're trying to do now is, because there's going to be 2 of these packs. Oh, okay. I went and looked at my big Notion page, like my master plan page. Master plan is a bit much. I went to look at my Notion page for everything, and it turns out what I was thinking. It goes the Deco Sims, and then the family tree, and then another set of 8 Deco Sims. But then what I'm also thinking for that, I'm trying to think, because I want to make a video on this. So I'm trying to think about when the video would drop. After this is going to come another Sim Deco pack. And then after that is going to be the what is it? The workers NPC series. I think well, actually there might be something in between that. Depending. Oh, there's another. Okay. Yeah, there might be something in between that. We'll see. We're gonna talk about animated Deco Sims in general. And then also, I have no idea what this pack is going to be and what this pack is going to be. So we're going to go through some of your ideas and brainstorm that now. So here are, I've been getting comments on different spaces as I've been uploading stuff. I've been collecting most of them on my Notion page. And I believe, okay, so I had to cross out that because I realized it was in the wrong space. It was supposed to be somewhere else on my page. But I have been collecting things as I've been making notes of the things that you guys have been suggesting as I've been releasing packs and stuff. And then I also made a post for my tier 3s on Patreon to be able to suggest some things that they were interested in wanting and needed in the future. And I need a water break. Oh my gosh. You know when you drink water and almost die? Oh, that hurt. Oh my gosh. I think I like swallowed an air bubble, drowning on water. I'm too young, I'm only 21. Okay, so I have been collecting some suggestions that you guys have been putting, but then I also I posted something specifically on Patreon for my tier 3s so that they could suggest some things, and then we're just going to be talking about them and going through them now. One thing I really want to do take the time to do is workshop some animated Deco Sim features. And what I mean by that is I have some ideas of things I want to do in order to push them forward and try new things. And trial and error takes time. Okay, so some of these ideas I kind of want to save for after that to see if I can get those to work or not. And that's partially also the reason I want to release just like the 8 sim packs of like purely Deco. Okay, I'm very scared to speak these words because, for one, they're literally contingent on whether there's some stuff I could figure out in this like workshopping section over here. And 2, there are things that I know like people go crazy for and I cannot relate. So I don't know how deep it goes. Work in progress may give up, okay? Shoot. Okay, I can figure out how to do animal NPCs. And by animal NPCs, I mean like the dog and cats. Jesus. The dog and cat. I feel like there's definitely a way for me to make those into animated Deco Sims. With what I know now, I feel like it's definitely possible and I can figure it out, right? And the thing with these like animated Deco Sim pets is I'm not really interested in making the dogs and the cats specifically, but more so, oh my gosh, I'm scared, a zoo. You know how like people in the gallery, they use the dogs and cats as bases to make like tigers and pandas and all that, whatever. I feel like I could make animated Deco Sims or animated like Deco pets of like those types of things so that you could have like, I don't, functional. Okay, so these would be wild animals, so it wouldn't be like your Sims wouldn't go up and pet them. Like they would actually be, they would be Deco, right? They would be in this section over here. I've been seeing people build zoos a lot and it looks so cool, and I kind of want to try it, but no promises. And also my problem with this is I'm not good at doing that and like painting dogs into tigers and stuff. See, I feel like, I mean, even if I say like this sim was, or this animal was made by so and so, I don't know how I feel about that. Another thing that's gonna go over here is the cabaret dancers, the jazz, and partially the concert ones. I don't know how to explain this. There are other things that I want to work on besides this, and that's part of the reason why I kind of want to push those back, but it's also because, oh, the scary word. Look, if this, I need you to, again, we're gonna look at this important section that's over here, and we're gonna remember that may give up, but I think there's a possibility of me being able to make band animated Deco Sims. Okay, I think I can figure that out. You know, I think there's possibilities of me figuring it out where the music would like emanate from the Deco Sims. But I'm not sure. Again, these are still things that I have to work on and practice, but I think that could be pretty cool. It's just something, again, these are ideas, but I don't know. It, like, my interest isn't fully peaked. I'm not fully like, I'm interested, but I'm not like inspired by it, but I think it would be cool, you know? So those are some features I want to workshop. I put this here. Definitely the cabaret dancers, the jazz ones, and the zoo are definitely going in that section. What's kind of been calling my name lately though is the festivals. The festivals, I feel like concert kind of goes in here. I've been like, I think like making a music festival pack, or if you elaborate on this here, I think making like a music festival pack would be pretty interesting, or also making like redoing the festivals, like also using tool mod. So you would like, if you're familiar with my revamped Tomering, what I did is I made Deco Sims for it, and then I also used tool mod to redo the area. So I placed it, I redid the tool mod in the area, and then I put it on a big lot. So you would download the room and then use tool mod to take it off lot to the festival, either like making like a summer music festival type vibe, or redoing the Sulani ones. You know, sometimes those are kind of lame sometimes. So redoing the ones in Sulani, or even there's another one. There's the Sulani. Oh, and like the Comic-Con and the Geek Festival. I don't the Geek Festival thing that comes in City Living. I think that could be kind of cool. to try to play with. But then again, what do I mean by music for these ones is different than what I can do for these, but it also may be interesting for here is for these to like make them, I've never tried this before though, but have them work like a stereo. So maybe for some of those Deco sims, there would be an option to play like different, they would play different stations, and that's how music would emanate from them. And I could also use like the special effects things coming off of them. So the special effect like music notes or something like that. I feel like there's stuff there. But then when you get into that, I feel like that also bleeds into the audience one as well. No, because like if you're having a music festival, if you have when people perform, then you need like an audience one. And I know it's also one people wanted. But then here's the thing, if that blows up into like a big pack, then that's also not going to be an option for our decos, for these 8 sim decos right here. So that would be later on. That'd be after the workers in PC series. I could do that. Okay, wait, never mind. For one thing, so the one for this first set of 8 or 16 sims is decided. I know what I'm going to do for this one, and it's actually going to be just like a set of, I don't know how to, casuals. It's just gonna be a set of sims existing, and think, if you're confused on this, think like Lively or Park. It was just sims in a park existing, and to keep it centered around something so I can stay focused on it, I'm probably going to like put the setting in like a coffee shop, but I don't think anyone's gonna be eating. I don't think anyone's gonna be drinking water. It's gonna be like, think like sims talking. I don't know. They're talking, sitting on their phones. What do people do? They talk and they sit and they go on their phones. I don't know. Maybe like dozing off. So that's going to be the first one. And that was actually one also brought up by my tier 3s here in that post as well. Does that count as cafe restaurant? What is cafe restaurant? I mean, there's not gonna be food in front of them. You could put Deco food in front of them. If you have like CC food, that could work. We could move on to the walking in a loop Deco sims as well. So I've actually experimented with this before, and if I still have them in my game, I'll go ahead and bring up something and have them there. So the thing with the animated Deco sims is the way it works is that essentially they're going through a looping animation, but when you have a walking animation, it's really hard to make them loop. So if I do this visual, for example, when I'm doing my regular animated Deco sims, they stay in one spot, right? Say they start here and this is point A. This is also, I don't know, this is also point B. Like they start and end here, right? So, but if I do an animated Deco sim pack, this is point A, this is point B. The sim is gonna walk here and then all of a sudden disappear and then appear back at point A. And it does not look good. Like it's not it, but with my winter wandering sims, what I did is I made figure skaters. So what happened is those ones, they started at point A, then they went in a circle around the skating rink, and then they ended here at point B. So it made sense, right? Because they were going in a circle. So the only thing I could think of with the walking animated Deco sims is they're going in a circle, but then again, that's still not as easy as to rank, right? They're in the skating rink, they're within the confines of a skating rink, and there's only 2 sizes in game, so it's not that hard. But if I'm having walking sims looping, then the question is, how big is the circle? Is the circle wide? Is it thin? How do you customize? Is it going to look stupid? If it's too small, then you're just going to see a sim walking in a circle. They can't walk down a block and turn around. I've also thought about like having them go into like an invisible space, right? So it would kind of be like this one here, and it's A and it's B. They would walk from here to here, right? But then it would be like it would straight up be like a black hole moment at the end, and you would be able to like use tool to match, like maybe there's a Deco building that they walk into, quote unquote walk into at the end, or I don't know, like do you see what I mean? So instead of like poofing, it would be them walking out of a building but into another. But even then there's multiple questions that come up with that, things I'm open to it, but then here there's just like a big question mark about how to execute these that I haven't quite figured out yet. Because I've thought about this. Is one of the first things I thought about, especially for like city spaces, because they kind of feel empty in game, having like Sims like walking down a block, right? But then how would that work? Do I have this on my, I don't have it on my list. So speaking of that, what I've also thought about is making world specific animated Deco Sims. So that way, if I use Ninja Ripper to take neighborhoods and put them into the Sims, I could cater animated Deco Sims to the worlds. Deco Sims to the worlds. And I would do that is they would each have a route that they would take that I could customize to the world. So they would walk in and out of the Deco Sims because I would make it do that. I would set it so like you would place your Sims on the corner of a specific lot in a specific like area, quadrant, whatever, on a lot, and then the Sims would automatically go to where they need to in that world. I think that would be cool. But then also it'd be very specific, so they wouldn't be easy to use anywhere but that world, right? So that's kind of where I am with that. That's kind of where I'm lost. If you're lost, if you forgot, because I almost forgot, we're looking for a set of 8 Sims to do for one of my Deco Sim pack, or like a theme to determine the 8 Sims. So one other thing that has been brought up a couple times to me has been, I feel like there was 2, but I can't really think of one. But one other thing that's been brought up a couple times to me has actually been a office worker Deco Sims. And I've thought about them before, but I don't know, maybe it's just the way I play that game. But part of me is kind of like, why? I don't know. Like, why do y'all want that? Like, what are y'all doing in your game? Like, what, you know? But then I can't say I haven't thought about that, because if we go to my workers pack brainstorming space here, I have thought about it, and having like some Sims be in a conference room, or some Sims be like tapping on a desk. I think out of both of these, the conference room is the one that interests me more, because I can like picture that in my head. But more than one of you have mentioned the office. I don't know. If you're looking down here, some have also said like high school, that's what it is. High school and university are actually 2 ones that I get pretty often as well. I think that would just, I think what would make a high school and university ones are literally just Sims in a backpack, right? That's what says high school, university, like then a Jansport. Sims like carrying a bag. But then here's my thing for the high school one specifically, right? If they're staying, I could see like a classroom, right? But then if it's classroom, or if it's Sims in a hall, then they would be in a hall while everyone's in class, or they would be in the classroom while everyone's like eating lunch and stuff. So as long as we can realize that, then okay. And for the university sims, what would be? Oh, for maybe like the university sims, they have like their events, like they have I don't know, what is it? They have like a pregame, like they party before the soccer games and stuff. So maybe like those type of deco sims for that would be cool as well. You know what I've been really wanting to do? I've been really wanting to do mascot deco sims kind of bad. We have so many costumes in the Sims right now for mascots. If you actually look at it, it's kind of ridiculous. Like we have Yeti costumes, Easter Bunny, gnomes. There's literally everything. Forget my ugly block lettering, but there's literally all types of mascots in the game, and I think that's like I want to do one. So, but would y'all be okay with that being an 8 sim pack? I feel like that's also not an 8 sim pack, but it could be. Okay. It was Licky. They said like when your Sims like at a fancy luxury restaurant, or maybe even couples dancing. So I've actually thought about doing like maybe like the Sims in like fancy like formal attire, doing the slow dance and stuff. Or if you look at it, there's actually, I was looking at some dance animations in game, and I believe they came with what is it called? I have no idea how to perform them in game, but I believe they came with they came with wedding stories. There's like different cultural dances in there. They are so cool. Like literally, I've never seen Sims do them in game though. I will put some of the ones I found up on the screen if I'm feeling productive and show you guys some of them. Sick. Absolutely crazy. How did I get to talking about that? But maybe some slow dancing. That would be cool for it. That would be a good one for an 8 sim pack. And then we're also going to move on to some other really cool ones that people mentioned, and that is retail. Let me pull up the comment for that. Public lots. Okay. They said retail deco sims, so I'm assuming this would be like sims that are dressed like they work at, I don't know, JCPenney's or someplace, right? Like, okay, now the more I'm thinking about this, I'm like, what would they be doing? Maybe like sims like working a cash register? Wait, I feel like I thought this was a really good idea, but now I can't think of, I don't know what they'd be doing. We'll sit on it. I don't know. One I really thought was good was the, I don't know, like, what is it? Not civil service. Public service? What? I'm trying to look at the comment. A person who mentioned it. Okay, yes. They said like crossing guards, like parking police, a fisherman, just like I guess fisherman wouldn't really be a civil, public service. I don't really know the name of it, but you know, like I think that one could be cool. Like I could see that one. Maybe like at a you could put them like at a crosswalk, or maybe your Sims has it near the school for your Sims, you know? That would be cool. I'd have to think about it more. I think that could be a good 8 sim one though. Okay, so I think we've worked through all the tier 3 ones. Now there's a couple ones in the regular suggestions. Some people talked about kid focused ones. I don't know what the kids would be doing. I think the beach is actually a really cool one to do. This one's definitely feasible for things that we can do. Like Sims sunbathing, or I think I could do Sims like wading in the water. Not wading in the water, like floating in the water. That could also be cool. This is supposed to be an umbrella. I don't know what that looks like, but people also thought about like occult themed ones. I still don't know what they would be doing for this one either. And then weddings, some people asked for wedding ones to fill up seats at like your ceremonies, right? Is this messy? I understand it. People talked about like the salsa, so like the clubbing anime deco sims I have now. These would be the ones going through like the things from what is it called? This is supposed to represent the jungle adventure. That's what it is. Like the you know, we got like the different dance animations that came with Jungle Adventure. So it'd be like the clubbing sims, except like, I don't know, maybe your sim is going to a tango night at the bar or whatever. So they would be going through those interactions and be dressed for like jungle adventure, or maybe not even specifically for jungle adventure, but that type of thing. I think that would be cool and also be a good 8 sim one. I got asked about revamping the night market. If you don't know what the night market is, I revamped the night market and I added Deco sims, like functional vendors, to make the night market have a purpose. And I also made, oh my gosh, I made a ridiculous amount of Deco sims for that, which I do not currently have anymore. Then we can move on to paparazzi. That would be a fine 8 sim one as well. There would, some people want airport ones, so I guess this would be like, what would that be? Okay, I'm like using all my brain power going through all of these. I don't know, if I'm pulling all of the ones that could work, be able to work from all of that, for the 8 sims specifically, we have, not that these won't work or I never get to the rest of them, but like the simple Deco sims that we talked about before, like those, I think these would work. Now we need to move on to determine the next workers NPC series, but I'm trying to think if this video is too long. We're actually, this is gonna be so quick. So one thing that's really throwing me for these ones for the next workers pack, the workers series pack. If you don't know what the workers series pack, it's basically where I'm going through and I'm making like employee themed animated Deco sims for your lots. I think that's how I described it, and I've decided to make it into a series, right? And the first one I did was the grocery store set, the grocery store NPC set. And what this basically did is it made your grocery stores in the sims like feel functional. It hopefully makes you want to like go to the grocery store if that's the type of gameplay that you want. Now for the next one, I'm having a really hard time deciding if that's going to set the tone for those or not. And what I mean is, am I going to make them Deco or NPC? You don't really have like a grocery store in The Sims, and it brought some functionality to those besides like the retail system that came in Get to Work. But should all of them do that? And what I mean by that is I was thinking about making a crime scene, criminal justice type set next, right? So that would be like police officers talking, paramedics, investigators, like maybe like the caution tape, people watching, stuff like that. That's what I was thinking. But all of these lend themselves to be more Deco, and furthermore, this is not really like a lot in The Sims. Like if you're doing storytelling, yes, that would make sense. If you're doing gameplay, I don't see it like how would that make sense? Maybe like making like behind the counter workers, messing with the, I don't know why I wrote Chestnut Ridge, but like messing with the cash register, and you'd be able to buy, I don't know, you could buy, what would you buy from them? Actually, now that I think about it. Maybe stuff you could buy from a vending machine. So this would be like Sprites, chips, sandwiches, stuff like that. I'm a little lost on what to do next for them. There's some ideas like I know that's a good idea, or it's like I like it, so I'm gonna just do it anyway. And there's some like where I'm seeing one, like I need some validation in that, but not false validation. Like if you have an idea, like inspire me, you know what I mean? If you have an idea for the next worker series pack, I'm open. I was also thinking about like hotel ones for a minute too. I could kind of see the vision with the crime scene one, but that may just be because I was consuming Detroit Become Human content again. That's where I'm at with that. I don't know where this is going to be at in the timeline, but we can get to what happened with the animated Deco Sim tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna hop in here because when I first told this story, it took entirely too long. So to add context to this, I am not a big fan of making tutorial videos, and if you've asked me a question before, you'll see that I try my very best to just reply with how to do whatever you're asking in a comment, or I'll offer to do a tutorial Patreon post. And this is really because I made one tutorial video on my channel and I realized how much work goes into a tutorial. Like the preparation for that and making it and making sure it's very clear and understand, breaking everything down, and then the upkeep of it really is tough. Like when people ask questions, having to go back and answer people's questions and help them to the tutorial, and things update and change and all this stuff, it's a lot, so I don't like it. But when I was going into making this tutorial, I tried my very best to make it literally as clear as possible. I took notes I broke down my steps of how I do it. I took notes and I took pictures. I edited the pictures. I put so much effort into that. When I was recording it, I was redoing recordings, checking, breaking down the steps, all of this stuff, and started editing. Right, and I put it, you know, you have two desktops on your computer. I put it on a second desktop just so like everything could on my main desktop to be empty. So I love keeping my main desktop empty, and I put it on everything on the second one. However, if you don't know, I got a new computer recently, and when I got a new computer, I took one hard drive from the old one and I put it into a new one. And guess what wasn't on that hard drive? Everything that had to do with the freaking tutorial. It's in the old PC, and the old PC's gone. And that means all of my intricate hard work I put into the tutorial is now also dead and gone, because literally the one time I didn't put something on a Notion page, and it actually makes me very upset. So now I have to start all over with my notes, the recording, the pictures, everything. So if you can't hear my voice, I'm very irritated about that. So that's how the tutorial is going. If I sound aggressive, I'm not trying to aim it at you. I don't know. I just I heard myself talk. Okay, I'm gonna chill out. But yeah, that's what's going. So I'm here just in case I forgot to record an outro for this video. But I would just like to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the content roadmap. And do not forget to let me know your ideas on some of the things that we brainstormed. We need things for the 8 pack of Deco Sims, and then also things for the next workers pack. I think something really interesting that someone mentioned to me after I recorded this video was a construction site animated Deco Sims, and I think that could also be pretty interesting. But we'll think about it. We have time. I'm going to be focusing on other stuff right now. But thank you for watching the video. Thank you for making it to the end, and I'll see you later.